This is the lecture lesson thingy for Friday, the 3rd of September, 2021, for ancient history. Now, as one of my students said earlier today, are we going to start learning anything today? No, of course not. I'm going to waste your time. Actually, today is the last day that we're doing structure, setup, and format. Once we're done with that, we will start next week with the Overture of Human History, which I do. But certain things need to be done. For example, the pockets is over there, as in what have I got in mind. I'm going to start using those on Tuesday. All electronic devices go in there, and you pick them up on the way out. I am a territorial fellow, and so I believe that you should pick your number. They're in rows of 6. There are 6 of them. How many does that make?
6.
Charter. Hoorah. So it says period 5. It's on the left side here. Please do not violate the period 6 territory. Just put your name in front of or behind the number that you want. Well, let's see who goes first. You're number 1. Why don't you roll? We'll see who goes first. 19, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19. So you get to go first. Now, do we go clockwise, 1 to 10, or counterclockwise, 11 through 20? Roll it. Okay, we're going counterclockwise. So first, second, last. So here it is. Pick your number and pass it around. Please make sure the back row gets it, the middle row gets it, you guys over here get it, and finally we go back to Darby. Okay? That's the first thing. While that is going around, the second thing, speaking of territoriality, we here today, right now, immediatamente, ahora, are in period 5. This is a diagram of the room. There are various rhomboids that indicate your seats, and various places next to those that are for you to place your name. Please tell me your full name again.
Aaron Blushton.
Aaron Blushton. Aaron Blushton, as the door is there and here, as the whiteboards are there and here, and as you are not on this table here, you please put your name right there. That's where you are. What I'm doing is I'm setting up some certain landmarks so that you, when we pass this around, you can find yourself. Thank you, Ms. Blushton. You, please remind me of your name. Caitlin Combs. Okay. You are located here in this box. If you kindly put your name there. Thank you. Good. Okay. Miss, what is your name?
Stewart.
Aaliyah Stewart. So you are located right, right here. So would you be kind enough, please, to put your name there? Right there. Yeah. Good. Thank you, Aaliyah. And finally, thank you. Yes. Please remind me of your name. Here. Claire. Will you be kind enough, please, to place yourself right next to the door? You are. So each of you should know where you're sitting. This is the seat you will have unless you wish to change it, in which case come talk to me. So please take it, pass it around, make sure everyone gets it, and please put your first and last name to sign in. Any questions about the tech pockets or the seating chart? Yes?
Sophie sits here. Do you want me to put her on?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you very much.
Oh, up or down?
Okay, look at landmarks. You're closer to the door, so you're actually here. Okay? Yep, no problem. No problem. Ask questions if you have them as we go on. Okay, next, would you please kindly take out your syllabus packet, because I've got news for you. So, Syllabus honors ancient and medieval history. Syllabus honors ancient and medieval history. And on the front page, you will notice, first of all, that for week 2, Tuesday, the 7th of September, 2021, you will see an assignment that says do short essays. It's the one that looks like this. If you have trouble, I have extras, so just let me know. You will see do short essays, terrorism questions. You're not going to do that because I haven't gotten yet to the point where I'm going to give that assignment to you. You will have it at some point, but you don't have it now. So none of you, please worry about that assignment for the weekend. You do not have to do short essays regarding the subject of terrorism. There's another change that is even more significant. Please look ahead to week 6, Monday, October 4th, 2021, where you will see that it says, do Case Study 1, Pre-Classical Cultures and Civilizations, 50-fact sheet, with a single, elegant strike-through. Please cross out do Case Study 1, Pre-Classical Civilizations and Cultures, 50 facts sheet. Once you have accomplished this task, go to the next week, which is week 7, Monday, October the 11th, 2021. You will see that it says do Case Study 1, Pre-Classical Culture and Civilization Profile. Please do a single strike-through cross-out of do Case Study 1, Pre-Classical Culture and Civilization Profile. In the past, prior to Wuhan flu year last year, I had students in my ancient and my European student classes do 4 case studies a year. 2 in the first semester, first quarter, second quarter, 2 in the second semester, third quarter, fourth quarter. Last year we didn't do any because of the craziness. I decided to experiment this year with reducing your workload. So you only have 1 case study to do during the first semester from now through January, and 1 case study to do during the second semester from January through June. We're going to go through that today, but before we do, in Unit 2, you will see Week 12, Monday, November the 15th, 2021. Don't automatically cross out because it's not the same thing. Week 12, Monday, November the 15th, 2021. Leave alone, do case study. But you'll see the Hindu-Arabic number 2, and then ancient Greece. Please cross out the 2 and ancient Greece. Please cross out the number 2, followed by ancient Greece. Single strike through is accepted. Do the same thing for week 7, Monday, week 14, Monday, December the 6th, 2021. Cross out the number 2 and ancient Greece, leave the rest alone. Cross out the number 2, ancient Greece, leave the rest alone. And somewhere approximate to those 2 entries, please put a 1. Because these are now case study 1, and they're going to be on anything up to and including pre-classical cultures and civilizations, as well as ancient Greece. We're going to go through choosing your topics today. If you need to change your topic, we can work that out. It's not a problem. Okay. That is a major reduction in your workload. I may very well assign other things, but I'm not going to assign them now. And you will see how major when we go over the case study in a little while. Any questions on what needs to change before we go deeper into this packet? Please. Ooh, thank you. Okay. You guys have not seen this yet, have you? This is the tech pocket sign. Where's the seating chart right now? Cool. Okay, thank you. Now we go to item XVII, or 17, in this packet. So go ahead, and it's the top of a page. XVII is the Roman numeral for 17, and you will see classroom discipline and moments of strong emotion. This is where we're continuing the class policies. I basically covered this yesterday. So you should understand my standpoint on this. Do you have a question?
We don't have a 17.
I think you're in the... No?
Because it says
Oh, not
17.
not week 17.
Number 17.
Number 17.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. All set? Thank you. Okay. Oh, have you gotten the seating chart yet? No. Here you go. Thank you. Okay. So we've talked about this. Where are we? You know, today I have had a difficulty focusing my thoughts all day. It's annoying because my brain is where I keep all my stuff. Don't know where the numbers are. That's because they're over here. Didn't collect them yet. So you're doing that once you're done with signing up for your Tech Pocket. You guys gotten that yet or no? Okay, so you're doing both. Good. I'm going crazy. I didn't misplace it in the ether. Item 18, XVIII. Snow days and due dates. If we have a day, a Monday due date, and there's a snowstorm that keeps us from school, it's due Tuesday. If, however, we have a Monday due date and we have a Friday snow day, the date doesn't change. You guys know your assignments from now through June, so I expect you to do them. If there's a snow day, it's not going to alter your due dates unless it happens to be due on the day we have a snow day. Next item, textbooks. They should all be home now or covered. Home so that you can work on the homework, which is the only way I use the textbook. Yes? Muchas gracias. Thank you. And you're still working on it. Good. What? Oh, okay. Syllabus work. Simply, I'll be adding to this. If, for example, we see a movie like The Odyssey, which we're going to see, I will have a movie worksheet or 3. That'll be due. It's not on the syllabus yet because I don't know precisely when I'm going to show it, but there are going to be additional assignments above and beyond. Next item, 21. Okay. You guys have already seen that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll take it. Thank you very much. Don't worry, I got it. So good. Now, I get to tell you what I think is in a well set up assignment. If I give you a worksheet or a packet, just follow my format. But A1, first and last name, already talked about that. A2, put the assignment name, teacher name, date, class, period. If you have a normal sheet of paper that you're doing work for me on, please include all of these items at the top. I don't care if you use the upper left or right, doesn't matter, but I like your first and last name, the assignment name, my name, the date, and class period 5. All work should be on 8.5 by 11 paper. These are inches. Some of you have access to truly beautiful calligraphy paper. I mean amazing parchment-like stuff. Others of you have access to legal paper. I don't want them. I want simple standard paper. It's easier for me to handle, so please use normal paper if you're handing things in with your own stuff. Use dark ink, navy blue or black, or dark pencil lead. I have bad eyesight. I don't want to get eye strain. If I can't easily read your work, I'm not even going to correct it. I'll give it back to you and say rewrite it. I don't want pastels, light pencil lead, or sparkles. Please, just that. And don't use red because it's annoying to read and I often correct in it. Item second C is if you look here, you'll see that my perfection includes having 2 letter C's. No typos with me. No, never. Not any now. Item C, second part. Unless dealing with popes or royalty, please use the last names of historical figures. You're not pals. I just love saying President Biden. God, it comes so flowingly. President Biden. Don't call him Joe. If you're referring to him in writing for my class, please call him President Biden or Biden. If you're referring to this guy up here, Winston Churchill, who saved the world in World War II, don't call him Winnie in your work. Don't call him Win or Winston. You are not drinking buddies. Call him Churchill or Prime Minister Churchill. The only exceptions, and I'm saying this because lots of people do this. I think somewhere they learn in English class that you want to switch it up a bit to make your writing more interesting. So sometimes people use the last names and the first names and the nicknames of historical figures. No, please use the last names. Unless, here's the exception, you're dealing with the Queen of England. She is Elizabeth, second queen of her name. So Queen Elizabeth II. Or the Pope. Again, another guy that I'm not personally thrilled with, but he is the leader of the Roman Catholic Church, Pope Francis. So in those cases, you would refer to them as Queen Elizabeth or Elizabeth II, or Francis, or Pope Francis. Royalty and popes do get called by their first name. Most everyone else, please use their last name. Now, if we're dealing with Caesar or Cleopatra, use Caesar or Cleopatra. That's common use. But normally when there's two names, please use their last, if they have one. Any questions so far? See, I'm looking around without my glasses, so I see blurs. Any questions so far? I'm actually interested if you have in answering them. Don't see it. Okay. This is the most common problem that people in your grade and in 10th grade have. Having taught for all this particular thing is just common. Now, some of you are better writers than this already, but many of you, if I ask you to write an essay or answer a question, it's like you vomit words onto the page, as if volume is sufficient. I love seeing a paragraph that runs on for a page and a half. Use paragraphs. In Christ's time and Caesar's time, they didn't space words. So you got all the words together. You can decide just how fun it must have been to read a papyrus scroll in those days where there are no spaces between words. And there's also precious little punctuation. So you figure it out. All the letters are there. You just got to do all the spacing in your head. Since then, we have invented spaces between words and punctuation marks. And we have invented paragraphs. An idea deserves its own paragraph, just like a teenager should ideally have their own bedroom. An idea deserves its own paragraph, just like each of you ideally should have your own bedroom. Now, I understand. Not all families can afford to have everybody in the family have their own room. But if you have your own room, you've got privacy, you've got a space that you can decorate and make your own. It's a good thing to have. When I was little, my sisters and I shared a room. Then, when I got older, when we got older, I had my room they shared. I had twin sisters. They were roommates. When I left for college, one of them got my room, and I got the basement. This is the way it is. Everyone beyond a certain age should have their own room, ideally. Every paragraph, every idea should have its own paragraph. Now, most paragraphs are going to be multi-sentence. Some paragraphs are going to be a single word, maybe even a single letter. But in general terms, a couple, 3 sentences. Short, punchy, one-idea paragraphs is good form in English writing. Please consider it. If you give me the vomit of your mind in a single paragraph, it's going to be more difficult for me to read. It's also not going to indicate discipline on your part. Using paragraphs indicates focus, where you recognize what you are saying, and you've organized it enough to know when you're going on to a new idea by beginning a new paragraph. So you will do better also grade-wise. And look, in life, if you want to write something down, have it be worth reading so that somebody will actually get something out of it. Paragraphs help you do that. I go on because it is such a common problem. It really is. Questions, comments, thoughts on that? Yes?
When we're writing essays, do you want us to use MLA?
I don't care. I've never cared about formats like that. I'm supposed to say, yes, use MLA. Oh, the MLA gods. I could care less. What I want it to be, most of the stuff you're doing for me is not going to be a formal essay anyway. Remember, for your chapter survey, you just have to fill out my structured essay form. You don't actually have to type one. So very rarely, if ever, will that even come up in this class. When citing sources, yes, I'd like you to use the MLA format for citation. And your English teacher will have all that information. So bad. There are people who genuinely care deeply about MLA versus the other formats. Talk to them sometime. It's interesting. Yes?
We need to use MLA for all. Is there? I don't know.
I'd rather not Ziggy, because Ziggy's not my name.
Like, do you have a type of
Okay. Mr. G, Mr. Genorio, Mr. Ralph Genorio, Mr. Ralph K. Genorio are all acceptable. No, I don't. No, I don't care about that. I know what my qualifications are. If you want to find out sometime, come by and we'll talk about it. No, thank you for asking, Darby. I'm not trying to make fun of the question.
No, I get it.
I just make light of how seriously some people take themselves. Really.
I had an 8th grade English teacher fail me because I wrote the title.
That's strange. Then again, I remember Dr. Evil. I didn't go to Evil Medical School, so I'm called Mr. So, there we go. I guess that's a good question. I've never heard that before. That's rare. That's rare. Okay. Let's see. Item E. Polish your work. Look, oh, yes, go ahead.
Oh, I was just wondering. So, would you rather have it, if we're writing an essay, would you rather have it typed or handwritten?
I almost always prefer handwriting, but if I ever have you do a formal essay with all the bells and whistles, I'll have you type. I don't, usually. If you want to do something for me that's extra credit, we'll talk. Normally, I prefer your handwriting for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's much harder to copy-paste. Number two, I think it's good to maintain some skills at penmanship. Penmanship is a dying art. There's going to come a time when the power is going to go out and not come back up. It may not happen in your lifetime. It may. I think it's a silly mistake and a preventable error to teach people to function only with the aid of machines. So I like handwriting, if it's reasonably neat. If it's not, try to make it reasonably.
Do you have font preferences, font size preferences?
No. Again, I almost never have you type answers or type essays, so don't worry about it. My own preference is for size 12 or 14 Century Gothic. There's a video called Fonts Conference. It's an old, funny video on YouTube. Look it up. And Century Gothic is the font that thinks all other fonts are sheep, whereas Comic Sans is like the most heroic font of them all. I don't care, as long as I can read it. Don't give me wingdings. I can't read those. Did I see a hand? Yeah.
Can I like write down Sensei Genorio?
I am not a daimyo. If you want to write Sensei, be my guest. But I'm not going to call you Jun. I just won't, because that's too intimate for an American classroom. Or no, it's not Jun, it's Kun. That's it. I could use, if I felt really Japanese that day, and I'm having sushi tonight, so maybe I should. It would be San. That's the honorific I would use for you. Evil mad scientist, I suppose, would also work, but I'm not a scientist. Okay. What I'm saying is this. I love to draw when I write, or when I'm listening. But if you turn in work for me, I do not want to see bunnies and duckies and unicorns and lightning. I don't want to see fighter planes dropping napalm or space wars or Sauron. I don't need to see those things. I especially really don't want to know who you're interested in dating, who you're dating, what your name would look like if you get married to this person, or when you break up, and all the various things that can happen with that. Please do not do that. Just crisp and clear work. Yes, yes, believe it or not. That's why I'm saying this
That's terrifying.
Now, it's horrible. And sometimes they write notes to one another and then hand it in as homework. I don't want to know. If you're the kind of person like me that gets restless, have a scrap paper that you can do all that on. Don't do it on your work. Please, I'll take points off. Follow my formats. Beware of Wikipedia. Wikipedia is fun for looking up things on Star Trek or your favorite music group or something. Fun stuff, not serious scholarship. Don't use it as a source. It's an opinion page. I can change entries on Wikipedia and they may not count it, discover it for a while. More than that, if you want to use Wikipedia, it can be a beginning of research because most every Wikipedia article that I've seen that has any substance to it has links at the bottom. So you can use those links and they can be your sources. But please don't use Wikipedia itself. It's just a bad source. It's like going to the local... Never mind. I was going to say, oh, fuck, to heck with it. It's unpolitically correct. It's like going to the local inebriated fellow down by the railroad station to ask about things. You might get a really interesting answer. Actually, one of the most interesting stories I ever heard was from a drunk down by my railroad when I was in high school. He told me the story whether I wanted to hear it or not. God bless him, he was a combat veteran of Vietnam. He had been a hero, but his mind was gone. Don't... What was I saying? That may have had to do with Wikipedia.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Wikipedia.
Okay, good. Thanks. Finally, when you restate ideas into your own words, you take ownership of it. When I met my wife, she was a senior in college, I was a freshman. And I was smart enough to get through into a very good college without having to work hard. Because with the humanities and arts, I can absorb information like a dry sponge. Easy for me. So I never had to develop. And I got by in math and language and the hard sciences. And I got my butt kicked in college because I never had to work. I never had to learn to be disciplined. I never had to learn the techniques of being a good student. Most of you are better students at this point in your life than I was at twice your age, or almost twice your age. It is one of the most useful lessons that my wife ever taught me about studying that I'm going to teach you right now. You may or may not use it, but I would use it in the areas that you find difficult. If history is difficult, do it in history. If history is easy, but math is difficult, do it in math. If you don't, you will be like me. Imagine a waterfall, big giant waterfall, hitting a rock. The rock is my brain. The water falling is the knowledge. The knowledge should penetrate. It falls from a great height. It's hitting with great force. But no, rock, bounce. No knowledge, bounces off the wall. So I can read things that I don't easily absorb. And I get nothing out of it because it bounces off my mind. It may happen to you that way also. So what Tina taught me to do was always, when you're reading something difficult, have an open notebook in front of you. And when you're done with a section, when you're done with a particular idea, you write it down in your own words, you summarize it. Here's why that works. It may seem like a lot of extra effort, but the human brain is basically a forum for electromagnetic impulses to do their dances. That's what our thoughts are physiologically. The human brain's thought patterns, the way the impulses work, vary widely based on what you're doing with the information. So we could be dealing with the same bit of knowledge, but if you're thinking about it abstractly, your brain has a certain pattern. Then, if you're trying to imagine how you would restate it, your brain would have a different pattern. Then you are writing it down. Your brain's electromagnetic impulses have a different pattern. Now, if you wanted to do a poster or interpretive dance of the Pythagorean theorem, you could do that, and your brain would have different patterns there too. If you're speaking about something, different pattern. So, by reading the difficult stuff, stopping, taking a break, and thinking about how you're going to summarize it, and then summarizing it in writing, you're giving your brain not one, not two, but 3 opportunities to stick that mud so it doesn't bounce off or fall down. It is an effective method. And you may not need it yet. You're pretty smart people as a group, and you're highly disciplined as a group. I couldn't have made it as a student at Charter. The math and science would have slaughtered me. But this is a technique that I found useful. You might find it so as well. So I've given it to you. Do what you will with it. Okay. That's it for this. You know about my movie policy. Yeah, about violence and harsh language, no 2 cents. Next page is a list of movies. Next page is the obsession sheet, the permission slip. This is the only movie I have a permission slip for. My movie policy is different from pretty much everyone else on campus, and I expect you to regulate yourself. If your family doesn't want you to see The Odyssey, they'll tell you, and you step out, and we'll work it out. I'm not going to kick you out unless there's something really weird going on. I will expect you to step out if your family doesn't want you to see something. But the way we're beginning the year is I'm going to give you an overture of human history. If you know music, you know that an overture is a bit of music at the beginning of, say, a symphony or an opera that gives you the leitmotifs or the various themes that you're going to encounter later in the music. I use as my overture the background to the terror atrocities of September the 11th, 2001, because the reasons for those attacks and for the subsequent war on terror go back almost 4,000 years to the prophet Abraham. Abraham is a sacred prophet to Christians, Jews, and Muslims. He's called Ibrahim in the Quran. By going back to Abraham, and in about a week or two, usually it's a week and a half to 2 weeks, tracing the causes and the subsequent histories of monotheism in its Jewish form, in its Christian form, in its Islamic form, the interactions between the three, we get at least a historical reason why there is a war on terror. We go into detail about it. The culmination of this overture is a movie called Obsession, Radical Islam's War Against the West. I think it was made in 2006 or 2007. Now, I have a permission slip for 2 basic reasons. Not because there's a bunch of charred corpses or mangled bodies, but because you're going to hear people on Arab television and within mosques talk frankly about their opinions on these subjects. Hearing a little child sing about genocide and speak emphatically about murdering an entire group of people is shocking. That is the shocking material in this movie, number one. Number two, those who are against the war on terror view it as propaganda because the movie basically says there is a war of civilizations going on and we could lose. So it is a struggle between the modern West and the Islamic fundamentalists. Not everyone in the Islamic world, not every Muslim, but the Islamofascists or the fundamentalists, like the people in the Taliban who run Afghanistan. Your family or you may decide that you don't want to see this because of the shocking bits of speech or because of the overall theme of the movie. It is for that reason that I require you to have a permission slip. If you don't have it, you'll be doing a research worksheet on terrorism, which is on the last page of your note pack, instead of watching the movie. So it's up to you and it's up to your family. But if it's due Tuesday, but if by the day we show the movie I don't have a permission slip in my hand, you're not seeing the movie. I don't know. It'll be probably not next week, probably the week after next, partway through, if my lessons happen at the rate they normally do. But try to get this permission slip in by Tuesday, Darby. That way you don't have to worry about it. If you haven't already got it. Okay. Next. Flip past the sample chapter survey, and you will see a list of case study topics. These topics are on subjects ranging from 1, the Paleolithic era, to 74, the historian Xenophon. What I expect and hope you to do is to sign up for one of these today. To give you an idea of what you're signing up for, please take out your case study packet. It says Case Study Research 50 Fact Sheet on the front. That's what we're using right now. Case Study 50 Fact Sheet. That's what we have right now. Okay. Case 50 facts. So, when I was your age, whenever I did a research project, my teachers and professors advocated the use of index cards. Now, you may not even know what an index card is. It's a little cardboard papery thing about yay big, and you can put a single fact on it. It's big enough to put a single fact. And what they've learned back in their baby boomer years is to research and put a fact on every index card, and then you can mix and match and organize. I hate it. My favorite use for index cards is going to the shooting range and seeing if you line them up, just how many index cards can be perforated by a 7.62 by 51 NATO rifle round. They're also useful for kindling. Okay, the idea of using index cards for research, to me, is crazy making. I won't do that to you. So instead, we have this, a single sheet of paper, both sides, where you're going to gather at least 50 facts about your topic, whatever it is you choose. See where it says topic? That's what you're going to write down. That's what you're going to pick today. Thesis is if you do a essay. The case study essay is not a factual essay. It is an essay that argues a point of view. It's much more fun to read and write an argumentative essay than it is to read a factual essay. Also, the higher you go in education, the more you're expected to argue a point of view. So, that's the thesis. You will note 5 sources, a primary source and 2 books, and 2 books or webs. I make a distinction between book and web sources for this reason. Anyone who wants to can go on the web and write anything. I know, I do it. And I can write some crazy stuff. Books go through an editorial process. If it's nonfiction, history, the editor not only checks the prose and the grammar of the writer, but they also make sure that the facts are defensible. That we're not making aliens be the builders of the Great Pyramids. Which is a fun theory, but it's not historically grounded. So, also, publishing companies can be sued for slander and libel. Nobody on the web is going to be effectively sued for either of those things. So because books have to go through an editorial process, they're more reliable as scholarly sources than anything on the web. Now, what if you find a book on the web? You happen to like reading on screen rather than on these paper sheets. As long as it's a book that has gone through an editorial process, that has a copyright, then it counts as a book, whether it's on screen or in your hands as a tangible object. Let's take an example. Number 1, don't write it down because your topic's going to be different. Let's say we're doing the Greek politician and general Pericles. And the first fact I find out is, you know why Pericles is always depicted in a helmet? Because he had a misshapen skull. When he was born, as they pulled him out, his skull ended up being an unusual asymmetrical shape. He didn't want to be remembered that way. So whenever he had a statue done, a sculpture done, it was done with him wearing an Athenian battle helmet, so that he looked more normal. That was his choice. So what you'd write down if you were doing Pericles is Pericles had a misshapen skull. That's why he was depicted helmeted. Let's say you found that out in your 3rd source. You'd write 3 on the middle line, the little middle line near the right. And if it was from page 347, you would write 347. And there you have a fact, you know what source it comes from, and you know what page it's on. Why? Why is that helpful? Because you're going to want to go back and look over your facts as you begin doing your profile. This way, you can do it easily. You can find everything you've already found reliably without having to mess around. So that's the reason I have you do this. This 50 fact sheet is due on the Monday before Thanksgiving break, or Monday the 15th of November 2021. 50 fact sheet is due. Any questions on the 50 fact sheet before we move on to the next item? Okay, next item. I got to go fast because I'm behind. If you want, you can do a presentation. It can be live or by video. I'll show it to my study lab, whether it's live or video, because the presentation is to be seen. Next page. The profile is the big one. This takes a while. You're basically writing an encyclopedia article. The encyclopedia article includes you coming up with a newspaper headline for your topic, you writing a newspaper first paragraph that includes who, what, when, where, why, and possibly how, generally introducing your reader to the topic. A timeline of 10 items, paragraphs, next page. The philosophy, ideology, or religious faith of the people at the time of your topic, next page. Important events and people. Also, foreign affairs, diplomacy, and war, next page. Military science, science and exploration, next page. Daily life, geography, next and final page. Analyzing your primary source documents. The last page, historiography, is for AP sophomores. Don't worry about it. You can do it for extra credit if you want, but don't worry about it. What? I haven't decided, but it'll be an extra credit homework assignment at least. Final page. So that's required. The 50 fact sheet and the profile are required. The presentation is optional. On the last page, both sides, is a case study essay, which is also optional. The case study essay is a persuasive essay, 16-paragraph structure. So if, for example, my topic were kaiju, Japanese giant movie monsters, I would argue that while Kong may be king of the giant movie monsters, Godzilla is emperor. Godzilla is superior to Kong, which I believe, and if you don't, you must be stupid or evil. You get it, see how that works? So you'd write an essay based on that. So this is a big project. Given that, I'm going to have you choose your topics now. But I will tell you that if you want to change your topic, as long as somebody else doesn't have the topic you want, not a big deal. So this is how we're going to get this done within the remaining minutes of class. We're going to follow a very soup Nazi approach, which is an old reference. We're on the page where it's Paleolithic era number 1 to Xenophon number 74, Honors Ancient Medieval History Case Study 1 topics. And we're gonna roll a dice to see who chooses first and whether we go clockwise or counterclockwise. You're gonna give me the number and your first and last name. That's it. Number and first and last name. And that way we will go around. So, would you roll, please? Thank you. Okay, number 8. Gracias. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You will be going first. Yes. Now, let's see if we're clockwise or counterclockwise. 1 to 10 clockwise. Wait. 11 through 12 counterclockwise. Roll it. Clockwise. So we go to you, and you will be last. Actually, you will be last. Okay. Number and name. Oh, as we do this, cross them out because you don't have access to ones that other people do. Sir, shoot.
68.
68. Your name.
Parker.
You're on the wrong one. It's the page right before you're on.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay,
68 would be the Greek comedian Aristophanes.
I'll do that.
Okay. What's your name again?
Parker.
Last name?
Turnbull.
Okay. Next.
34.
Okay. 34. Hudson. P. Next.
57. Callan.
Say it again.
57. Callan.
Callan, last name?
Broker.
Okay. So you got Greek sculpture and art. Callan. B. Please.
I'll do 63.
Name?
Sam.
Last name?
Otto.
Sam P. I want first and last name, please. Next.
I'll do 33. Family.
Okay, 33, 80, B. Warring States period. Good. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Early Japan. Say it again, your name?
Baden. Family.
Ah, good. Okay, next.
46. Paper.
Tate. Last name? Okay. Folks, when you're saying these, pull your mask down or do something to enunciate, because I have to do this fast and I have lousy hearing. Sir?
71. Treffin. Or
Okay. What's the first name?
Campbell.
Campbell. Okay. Next. Okay. Galen, there. Fast.
Number 63, make up pass.
Yep, 63 has been taken. Now, if you wanted to do a Cepheus or Pythagoras,
64.
64 and 3. Sam took 63. Archimedes is a fabulous scientist. So is Eratosthenes.
I'll do 60.
60. Okay. First name again?
Jacob.
Thank you, Jim. Next.
56, Aristotle. That's not my name, sorry.
That's fine. Your name?
Skylar Gessner.
I've had Aristotle in class, actually. He was Greek. Yes?
42, Joe Amheiser.
Thank you, Jim. Hold on. Gotta write it down. Yes?
58.
Okay, 58. Okay. Brianna Rose, 53. Got it. By the way, if the bell goes off and you've chosen, get out of here. If the bell has gone off and you have not yet chosen, please wait and get to choose.
46 there in Glasgow.
Okay, 46. Got it. Should remain fairly quiet. Please.
50. Page Stranahan.
Thank you, Miss Stranahan. Yes, please.
I'm a little confused where things are.
Okay. In the... No, it's not that thing. Don't worry about it. No worries. Okay, I'll show you. If you want, you can choose now, or we can come back to it. But, let's see. Yep, it's this list here. Okay, do you want to choose now, or do you want me to come back? Okay, fair enough. Please?
27.
Name?
Aaliyah Stewart.
Please?
40.
40, Ashlyn Craigie? Okay. Please?
35.
Okay, 35. Holmes?
17.
Shh. Last name? Or name?
Lydia LaHouse.
Thank you.
38.
Bonnie
Bonnie Brumley.
Brumley. Okay. By the way, who are you playing today, Miss LaHosa?
Priest River?
Crush them. Humiliate them. Make them go back to their homes scandalized. Yes?
18. Emily Spira.
Okay. 18. Spira. That seems like a Greek name to me. Yes?
41. Keely Lake.
Okay. 41. Lake.
21.
Okay, so again, if you have not yet chosen, please wait. What's your name? Number? 21.
Okay, so I guess I'm doing that.
Alexandra, you haven't chosen yet. I'll be right with you. Yes.
80. How about 9?
Okay. 9.
Where is this?
Got it. Yes.
I didn't have time to go over. Can I change my number?
Sure. Let me just sign up. Alexandra.
Okay, so 45 and 46 are taken.
45 is not taken. And 45 is an incredibly good topic.
Okay, 46 taken?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
You could also do 44. Good topic.
I would like to take Library of Alexandria.
That's been taken.
Oh.
58.
I can take 45 then.
Okay. If you change your mind, come back and we'll talk.
Okay. I gotta go to French.
Of course. Okay, what do you want to change it to?
35.
Okay, what's your name?
Parker.
Parker. Last name?
C-R-E-M-T-S.
Okay, and what one did you have?
I had 68.
Okay, 35's been taken. It has.
36.
36. Okay, Parker.
Okay.
And you had 68.
Yes.
So I will open that one up. Anyone else need to get their topic? Okay, see ya.
I need it.
Yeah, I guess. So wait. Put it in the period shelf that you have. Yes, please. Okay, good. Good.
Oh, cool, the ugly brown thing is here.
Yes. We like the ugly brown thing.